morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Casey. We're going to go over the topics of the day. So, summer's over, and what a summer it was. We had rising interest rates, rising um, gas prices. The market really was in shock. The interest rates were going a little bit crazy, which have settled down. But, we're in a mortgage bizarro world right now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why it's a time to sell. Um, which is critical. We're going to talk about an element that helped us through the summer and is going to help us from this point on. And it's called a 6 point pre inspection and why those are so critical to what's happening right now in the market. And then I'm going to tell you quick and easy ways to find out what your home is really worth. Forget about the computers, forget about, you go on Zillow and Redfin, and, I make a living out of sitting down with sellers and going, well, Redfin says your house is this, and Zillow says your house is worth this or that. And they're not within $150,000 of each other. So forget about all that stuff. I'm going to give you some simple, easy ways to figure out what your house is worth. And there's really should be no, question about that, which to me is shocking because it's so simple to find out what a house is worth. And yet in McLean last month, 30 houses withdrew, 20 houses sold. So you're telling me that 60% of the inventory was overpriced and didn't sell? I just find that really hard to believe. So I'm going to give you a nice, easy way to do it. But first of all, let's go with a time to sell. Now, in analyzing everything for every seller, I'm looking at how many houses are on the market, how much competition we have, how long they've been on the market, all of that. So surprisingly enough, in the last couple of houses we've been analyzing to time when we're going off, there's nothing on the market. I mean, there's no competitors on the market. We did have, one house, but the house was put on the market for 139% of assessment. It was dated. So it is probably 150,000 overpriced. So that's not a competitor. So we're looking at this going, well, now, wait a minute. In all of 22181, there's not one house other than this overpriced house, not one house between 1.1 and 1.3 million dollars. Is that crazy or what? So if you're, consider this to be, we keep talking about the buyer pool. Well, think of your buyers as the fish. And the fish have not been fed now for 2 or 3 months. And now when you throw food in and they haven't been fed for a couple months, there's going to be a fight at the bat rack. There's going to be very aggressive bidding going on. So that's what we find ourselves now in some of the areas, on the market. Okay. So let's talk about, why is this such a great time to sell? Well, interest rates are in what I think is a bizarre world. Normally, you have jumbo rates up here, you have conforming rates, which are rates on mortgages. Come on in, hon. What do you need, bud?
Listen, you told me you were doing
Okay,
this
get
at
it.
11.
Yep. Get what you need.
Okay, and then
I bet this doesn't happen on ABC News.
No. Oh, like you're.
I'll bet this never happened to Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
Of course, Walter Cronkite was in the studio. So anyways, let's talk about mortgages and why this is the second link of why this is a great time to sell. So normally, jumbo interest rates are this high and conforming interest rates, in other words, loans under $647,000 are this low. But that's not the way it is right now. Conforming rates are at 6%. Jumbo rates are at 5%. And you get a 7-year ARM where you lock the rate in for 7 years at 4.65%. So this is the way the market looks right now. Jumbos are way down here. So let me show you the effect of that. Let me share my screen. Let me get over here. And let me go like this. Now, this is a chart of the percentage of homes under contract, right? So I'm just looking at Vienna, and right here you've got $800 to $1 million homes. You have 1 million to $1.3 million homes, 1.3 to $1.6 million homes, 1.6 plus. And then I broke it into these zip codes, right? Because each one of these is a market into itself. So we're looking at basically 12 individual markets. So look at the market at $800 to $1 million and how, this is a buyer's market right here, right? So in 22180, it's a buyer's market under 800. This is a seller's market up here in 22181. And again, we're in about a neutral market in 22180. But look at the market here on the 1.3 to $1.6 million homes. So you see how high this is? Look, 22180, they've got like 85 or 90% of the houses under contract. That's crazy, right? That's nuts. So these homes are in a solid seller's market. Well, this is neutral, but this is a seller's market. The reason for this is that rates are at 4.65% on a 7-year ARM. And down here, these people are paying 6%. When you get to these price houses, you got to be real careful and make sure you price them correctly. You can't get weird with your pricing up here. But that shows you that right now, anyone between 1 million and 1.6 million, other than this one market right here in 22181, between 1.3 and 1.6, and again, this can be caused because people overprice their house and they're just not selling. But you can see clearly that this market between 1 million and 1.6 million is higher because we're in bizarro world, right? You guys see that? So reason number one why 1 million to 1.6 million should be on the market is there's no inventory. Reason number two is bizarro world has changed the rates. The rates are down at 5%, 4.65 for a 7-year ARM, versus 6% for the conforming loans. So, I just told a seller the 3-boat story, and I'm going to say really, really quick here. This is a story where a guy's sitting on the roof and the flood is coming, and a boat comes up and says, "Hey, you got to get in this boat. You got to get in this boat. It's gonna, you're gonna drown." He says, "Hey, I'm a very religious man. Trust me, the Lord is just testing me right now." And the boat drives off, and water rises, and here comes another boat. He says, "You got to get in the boat, man. You're gonna drown. It's not peaking yet." And the guy goes, No. I'm a man of the Lord. This is just a test. He loves me, and I love him, and nothing's gonna happen." And so he's sitting on the top, and the water's at his feet. And the third boat comes, and the third boat says, "It hasn't peaked yet. You're gonna die if you don't get in this boat. The Lord is my savior. The Lord will protect me. Don't worry about it. I don't need to get in the boat. I'm fine. He'll take care of me." The water rises, he drowns. He goes up to St. Peter. He goes, Hey, I was a man of faith. I believed in you. I trusted in you. I figured you'd take care of me. I figured you'd protect me. He goes, "Hey, man." St. Peter goes, "I sent 3 boats, right?" So the first boat was in the spring when we said, "Hey, this is, February." We said, interest rates are down. If things are going crazy, get your house on. People are bidding $200,000, $300,000 over list price. May, June, second boat comes in. I'm saying, look, we really got to get going. I mean, before something, gets crazy here. Let's get the house on the market. Let's get it sold. And again, we were getting $200,000 or $300,000. This is the third boat. Okay. Right now, after the summer, this is the third boat. No inventory. Jumbo rates are down low. This is the third boat. If you think you're going to sell the house this year, now's the time to go. And you need to get in the third boat. It's time for us to move on, right? Now, the question is, well, what's it going to be like in February and March? I have no idea. Man, with interest rates the way they are, they're going up 3/4 of a point. We got bizarro world in mortgage land right now. I don't know, I'm taking advantage of it. And then with the inflation the way it's in, you've got elections going on. So there's a lot of, variables that can happen between here and March. Our gas prices coming down just because we struck the oil reserve, and that's going to run out after a while. Is after the election, the gas prices are going to go back up. Interest rates are up. So I don't know what's going to happen in February and March. I buy when you buy when they cry and you sell when they yell. And right now they're yelling. The buyer pool has not been fed. The buyer pool is not being fed. There are houses on the market, but they're either overpriced or underprepared. And so I would say the quality inventory is gone, right? So if you're going to move, you want to move quicker, not later. Don't get close to the election. You know, we want to move in September, move in October, get everything done, locked up, put in a can, and have you renting your property through Christmas. So I would say we need to take advantage of the sellers. It's time to sell. This is the third boat. I'm telling you to get in now. We need to make sure the home is prepared. I know it's a pain in the ass. I know it's a pain in the ass, right? To to get your house painted and to get it cleaned up and to get it thinned out and to get it looking good. I get that. I get that. But it's a $200,000 difference between a home that's in bad shape and dated and a home that everybody's fighting over. So, if $100,000 or $200,000 is important to you, I'd rather put the effort in front before we list, because it's a little bit of an effort before we list. But should that house stay on the market for 30, 60, 90 to 100 days, and you have inspections, and you have problems with the inspections, and you have a house kick out, and you got to put the house back on the market, you want to talk about some real work? I'm talking about, hours worth of work versus weeks worth of work. So, and with $100,000 to $200,000 at stake, just do it the right way. Just don't do it the wrong way. Do it the right way. There's hundreds of people that have done it the right way. That we have a guideline. Like I always tell everybody, the only reason I get on the roller coaster is because I know 1,000 people have got on that roller coaster and arrived back safe. So I don't care how scary it is. I know I'm going to get back here safe. And so when you put your house on the market and you prepare it, you price it right, and you let everybody bid it out, you don't have to think you're the first. You're about the 400th. So, that's just the path that works. So let's talk about, making sure that we avoid what I think is the worst part of the home selling process, and that is the home inspection. So we went, and again, Sarah Mormon does the masterminds at Samson Properties, and we get together all the agents that are doing over $10 million. Big group, great group, a lot of good information going back and forth. Everybody's learning from themselves. Nobody's trying to hide anything. Everybody's sharing their ideas and what they think they should do. So the latest came, about 45 to 60 days ago when we started talking about doing home inspections, pre-home inspections. So I got together with our home inspector and I came up with a 6-point home inspection that you need to do before you sell your house. Is it a pain in the ass? A little bit, but a home inspection by the other guy's home inspector is going to be a massive nightmare. So we get our home inspector in here first. He identifies any problems or issues. We fix them up front. We fix them. Then we display a 6-point home inspection to the buyers that are coming in. Now, this does a couple things. One, it gives the buyers more comfort that this home is in good shape, right? So maybe it can avoid a home inspection. Maybe. Let's say 50% of the time it avoids a home inspection. Fine. Well, that's a big number, 50%. So I'll take that, right? And if they do want a home inspection, even though we've had a 6-point inspection, we have an advocate. It's like having your own attorney, right? Okay, so he's a home inspector. They got a home inspector. Our home inspector will battle their home inspector. Let them battle it out. What's important and what's not important. So I would rather have our guy do our points, find out if anything's wrong, find out if we need electrical work done. I know it's a pain in the ass. I know it might cost $1,000. But if they find it, it's $5,000. If they find it, the guy kicks out of the contract, it could be $25,000 or $50,000. So again, we're trying to minimize risk and maximize profit. So to minimize the risk, you have a 6-point home inspection. You do what the home inspector tells you to do. He gives you a clean bill of health, and then we march out. The home's in great shape. Again, I don't know what the term is. An ounce of preparation is worth a pound of whatever. All I'm saying is you put in this much time before to do an inspection, get your house ready, make it looking good, or you can do that if the house is not looking good and it stays on the market and you're at the mercy of a buyer and their home inspector. So again, doing it right, 6-point inspection, it's a fact of life. Why didn't we do it before? Because we got 7 contracts per deal. 7 contracts per deal does not require a home inspection up front, right? Now they do. The buyer pools are smaller. We don't get as many contracts. More people are asking for home inspections. So now we need to get out in front of that home inspection, and we need to make sure that we are not only prepared from a cosmetic, not only do we have our lipstick on and do we look great, but we also have had a physical from the doctor, and the doctor says we're fine. Our ticker's fine, you know? Liver count is just where it should be. Now, again, they may still have a little home inspection, but when we take any issues, we send our home inspection to them. We make it public to everybody. We literally put it in the documents. Do you want to see our home inspection? It's in the documents. We have nothing to hide. And that does give people comfort, right? So we call those the gold standard. That's the gold standard of listings, man. They're priced right, prepared right. They got a home inspection. They're ready to go. Everybody can rely on that. Now, let me just say one thing, okay? This is why it's really important that you get the right agent. So some agents, we all know, will just price it whatever the seller says. Overprice it, we don't care, right? That agent has no credibility in the real estate market. So the agents will look at that and go, well, we know they overprice house all the time. We know the house is somewhere down low. So it is extremely valuable to have a name on a sign that everybody can rely on to say, he's going to put his name or she's going to put her name on this listing. If she's going to put the name on the listing, that price is right. If they put a gold standard seal on it, that means this listing has met the gold standard of all the listings we do, and they sell in 4 days. So that is extremely important. I've had builders say, will you list this house? And the answer is absolutely, under no circumstances am I putting my name on that house, right? Because you're giving credibility to the house, to the builder, to the, you know, to the price, to the terms. Forget it, you know? So, you know, somebody asked me, do you ever walk away from listings? Like, absolutely. I'm not going to put my name on a listing that's unprepared and overpriced. I just as soon go find other listings. So we do. So let's talk about finding the value for your house, right? What is your house worth? And let's talk about I'm going to talk about some difficult things as well. Okay. So let's just have one barometer that's an easy barometer. Okay. Let's say you find 4 homes in your neighborhood or your area that you've seen and you sold, and they've really got to be within the last 60 days. I mean, anything in May and April, and all, that's history. You really need sales, current sales. You really need to know what is on the market currently, what is pending, what is under contract, what is active, right? So all you need to determine is what is the average percentage of assessment, okay? So let's say 5 people sold and you're looking at them. You go to the Fairfax County tax records or Loudoun County tax records or Prince William County tax records. You look up their house, they'll tell you, what's their assessment? Well, what's your assessment? Well, they sold at 120% of assessment. We'll take a look at the pictures. They're all online. Do you think that house is as good a shape as you are? Right. So let's say they're assessed at $600,000 and you're assessed at $650,000, and they look pretty comparable. Their home sold at 120% of assessment. Well, what's 120% of your assessment? That might give you a good number, right? That's going to give you the correct number. I'm going to tell you that people are putting their house on the market at 140% of assessment when the average is 120, and they're sitting. And it's stupid, right? It's real simple. It's right there. What's your percentage of assessment? What did they sell for? Oh, there's homes under contract? Go on the tax records. Find out what their tax assessment is, right? So their tax assessment is $750,000. Yours is $750,000. They went under contract in 3 days. Somebody bid that house up. So you could have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over that price. Apply that percentage. They got 750. They were assessed at 600. That's 125% of assessment. I pulled that out of my head. I don't know if that's right or not. What's 125% of your assessment, right? So Yes, there's price per square foot. Yes, there's a professional realtor needs to adjust your house up and down for condition, for upgrades. What value do you put on $350,000 in upgrades? Depends on the upgrades, right? So that's a professional realtor. They're coming in to polish that number and say, if we start here and this takes us up and this takes us down, and this is where we should be considering upgrades, condition, lot, market conditions, right? Another thing we consider is, okay, they got 125% of their assessment. Where do they price it at? Where you price it at is not where it's going to sell for. Where you price it at is very important. There are certain thresholds, right? So you can't go over major thresholds. So we like to keep it under the $50,000 or $100,000 thresholds. There's another threshold that you want to think about that's out there. It's in that 750, 1 million, 1.25 million, 1.5 million, 1.75 million, 2 million, right? So there's another threshold at the $250,000 mark. Why? Because they pull that out of their head, right? So people don't put on for 800 and say, oh, let's look for 750 or below, right? Or maybe not 700, they go 750. So that's another threshold we need to be cognizant of, all right? So because the buyer pools are lower, not smaller right now, they were 800, now they're about 150 or 200. Because the buyers pools are smaller, you need to make sure that you're extremely accurate. You can't be wrong. If it doesn't sell in the first weekend, everybody's going to think there's something wrong with your house. And there is, you overpriced it. So, I went over that whole process of, we know what our price is. We have our percentage of assessment. We have our price per square foot. We've made our adjustments for upgrades and condition, and we've made the condition wonderful. So the condition, nobody wants to come into a house that's not updated. They just don't want to, right? They don't have the time. They don't have the energy. And that's a buyer pool that we don't want to get into, because to be honest with you, the people that were saying, I'll buy a fixer upper, they want to cut the price to the bone, right? So I want people that'll pay for convenience. You know what? You fix it up so I don't have to do it. I'll give you another $100,000. I really don't get you. I don't care. So those are the buyers we want. I don't want the buyers that are out there. We call them bottom feeders. And I have buyers that are bottom feeders too. We'll go out, we'll look for it, and we'll find a home in bad condition. And then we're going down deep, right? We put on a mask, we go and rob the house, get it for a good number. So we don't want to deal with those buyers. We want to deal with buyers of convenience. They have money, they pay for convenience, they're used to it. The bigger prices, they've got, the bigger jumbo loans now, like I said, are lower. So anyways, we want to make sure that we're very cognizant of, and you guys should know, what to expect from your house, right? Now let's take another house. Kevin just called me up. He's got a townhouse. There's nothing been sold. Townhouses and a certain thing, blah, 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 blah. There's just no comps. What if there are no comps, right? Then you go back. They bought it in 2015. We can plot the market of single family detached homes that have sold. We can plot that market. And I can tell you they went up 25% in the last 2 years, 25%. So we can take that chart of valuations for homes that did sell, right? Like single family detached homes. And you can put their home in 2015 on that chart. Well, if they went up 28% and I went up 28%, what's my value? Because you're all moving up together, right? So we start here and they move up, then I move up. So I don't need townhouses selling to tell me what a townhouse is worth. The whole market went up 28%. Now, I'm talking about price range. So let's say it's an $800,000 townhouse. And there are no $800,000 townhouses. So find me $800,000 assessments, single family detached. What have they been doing since 2010? Let's follow them along. Okay, they went up like this, then they went like that. Oh my gosh, they're 25% above value. Fine. What's 25% above your value? and then apply that to the townhouse. So all I have to do is mirror something that I have comps in. So many times, again, if you don't have a comp, right, then you find what I call bedrock. Okay, 2,400 square foot house, built in 1982, and I could plot that throughout the years. What would that house be worth throughout the years? We do it for every listing, every listing. So all you have to do if you don't have comps is find the closest bedrock and mirror it, and just mirror it. And I can mirror it back from 2000. We can go back to 2000, and I'll do the bedrock, and then I'll mirror you no matter when you bought the house. Now, if you bought it in 1964, I can't help you. We got to think of something else. I'm sure I'll think of something else. But I'm telling you that if somebody bought a townhouse in 2015 and there are absolutely no comps, then I'm going to mirror the bedrock, which is a standard home of that assessment, single family detached within a 2-mile radius. And I'll go back throughout the years and I'll find out what they were worth. Numbers are a funny thing, guys. This is math. Real estate is math. I have wonderful people that work with me. Morgan and Colby and Kelly and Billy and Pat and Pam. And what they are there to do is make sure that that feel, that aura of the house is welcoming and comforting and all that stuff. I'm a math guy. I'm a hired gun and I'm a math guy. Okay. We need to know what number is going to get the most people into that house and get the highest number out of that contract. I am a math guy. I'm a hired gun. So they're here for the nurturing. We all have things that we're good at and have things we're not good at. Maybe I'm a football coach and ex-Marine. I'm not a good nurturer, but I'm a good math guy, right? And they're good nurturers. So, I always tell the realtors when we are giving classes and talking about it, go find your anti-you. Find out, what you do really well and what you don't do really well, and find something that does that really well, and then team up. I believe in partnerships. That's why we get married. We find a partner, someone we love, and they're really good at some things, and we're really good at other things, and somehow the whole thing matches. I don't want to do their job, and they don't want to do my job. We partner. So anyways, I think that's the way it is. You need to find your partner in the real estate world. If you're looking to sell, I'm a pretty dang good partner. 703-508-2535. Or you can reach me at casey@caseysampson.com. If you're a buyer getting into this market and you're looking to take advantage of the rates before they get up a little bit higher, you can also give me a call. I have 6 great buyer agents, and all they do is find homes for people and do a great job at it. So give me a call, 703-508-2535. My name is Casey Sampson. You've been listening to Coffee with Casey. We'll see you again next week. Bye now.